Tony here from Cage Confessions, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Cage Warriors Flyweight, Connor Wilson. Connor, welcome to the channel. Thanks for your time this evening. How's things going? You've got a fight coming up in a couple of weeks now, so you must be excited about that.
Yeah, I can't wait, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've been in the cage, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm ready to go, training hard, ready to get in there.
And just touching on that, so you said that you haven't been in there for a while, and I know your last fight was back in June. What's been the reason behind that? Have you had fight offers? Because I know in previous videos you've mentioned you've had lots of people pulling out of fights and stuff. Is that what sort of kept you from getting back in there?
Yeah, no one's wanted to fight me. Yeah, it's been annoying, to be honest with you, because my last proper fight was July 2024.
Yeah.
And then I was meant to fight the September, pull out. I was meant to fight the December, pull out. Same again in the March. And then I got a fight in July. That was a no contest because, again, the kid didn't want to fight. I threw a knee and it hit him in the balls, but it weren't nothing bad, like, you know what I mean? And the way he was carrying on was terrible. And then, again, after that, I was meant to fight the September. And then I was meant to fight the November, the December. And yeah, not literally, I've had no fights. No one wanted to fight me. But I've finally got someone now, so I'm happy.
Yeah, excellent. And just touching on that, obviously disappointing end to the way that fight finished for you. Is it more disappointing that you put all your efforts into training and stuff, and obviously it then ends in a low blow?
It was a combination of things. It was the frustration of that, and the frustration of all the fights before it. Know what I mean? Where if I had them fights, I'd be in the UFC now. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like 8, 9, 10 fights that have pulled out on me. It's a big difference to my career. Know what I mean? But if I had been active there fighting, getting finishes, yeah, I'd be where I want to be. So
yeah, absolutely. And what have Cage Warriors specifically sort of given you a plan in terms of getting you sort of active and the likes? Obviously, they can, I guess, to an extent, they can only put out the offers to fighters. If they then pull out, that's
it's not as much them, because I could name 10 fighters who pulled out on me. You know what I mean? It's more the fighters, and then after that, people are pulling out on me. It's last minute. People aren't ready to make weight, or I don't know. It's when it gets too close. Like even me last one, I didn't get no one, and then another fight was meant to fight the week before me, and they had a pull out. The kid said to them, yeah, because he was in Manchester at the time.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, about fight me in Newcastle, and then he's went back home and dropped out of it. Know what I mean? So it was frustrating, like, yeah.
Is that why the last fight was contested at a catch weight? Is that why?
Yeah, but even that one was late. That one I was meant to fight some Swedish kid who was like a two-weight champ on a Swedish show.
Right.
I was meant to fight him, I was training for him, and he pulled out. And then yeah, that Florian Doshka who I ended up fighting, he took it. But when I watched all his fights, he looked tough in game. Know what I mean? We started fighting. He was more of a striker. I've hit him with like a 1-2, and then he just tried to wrestle me. Then I think he felt me speed and me power to trying to take me down. And then as soon as where he couldn't take me down, I think as soon as I hit him in the balls, he thought that's my way out there. You know what I mean? Because he must have knew we weren't winning. So
yeah. And does that? And sorry to keep going back to that point, but with obviously the shots and balls, does that change how you approach your next fight, or do you consciously sort of not throw knees when you're in the clinch, or will that? Obviously, you don't know until you're in there, I guess. But is that something that's going to be in the back of your mind, do you think?
No, because it was a unique experience for him, because he shit his pants, basically. You know what I mean? He wanted the way out of it. I wouldn't have even got a point took off. You know what I mean? It weren't even a bad knee. It was
Yeah.
Bad acting, that's what it was. But the referee was stuck in a position where, what can they do? They've got to follow the rules, and because it was a foul, they have to call no contest. But he's not up with them. He was rolling around, and then as soon as I don't know whether he might have thought he was going to get DQ'd or something,
Right.
because as soon as the ref waved it, he jumped up. He was standing. He couldn't stand up, and then as soon as the referee waved it, he was on his feet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And looking ahead then towards your next fight, you're fighting a guy called Kiru Sahoto. What
yeah,
do you know? What do you know much about him as an opponent? What do you think of him as a fighter?
yeah, he's game. He's tall. He's mainly a striker. Yeah, he's a good record. He got to the finals of the road to UFC,
Yeah.
so it's a perfect fight for me, to be honest. It's this is what I've wanted. I've been calling people out. I've been wanting to fight top, like a decent level.
Yeah.
And I finally got what I wanted. So it's my job now to go in there and prove why I've been calling it and why I want all this.
Yeah. Do you ever think around where your career's going? It's obviously you've mentioned wanting to get into the UFC, but have you ever thought about exploring other countries and stuff to get competition?
Um,
Not comfortable with fighting at home, or at least
yeah,
in Europe.
I think Cage Warriors is the clear path to get to the UFC. It's proven. They've had that many fighters get in from there. So yeah, I just need to get the ball rolling and not know my way to get there. I do want to get to the UFC. It's my goal more than just money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, money. I'm here to fight for money. I'm a prize fighter, so
Yeah.
that's a big part of it as well. But it's not just about the money. I want to leave a legacy. I want to do great things in the sport. So
Yeah. So hopefully with that, because there doesn't seem to be the depth in the flyweight division, you may be closer to that rather than someone who's coming in at lightweight or something along those lines, where those divisions are a bit more stacked up. I guess that might play in your favour.
yeah, 1,000,000%. Like you said there, people aren't really interested in the flyweights, but I've got a style of fighting where you're gonna be interested. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
won't be able to take your eyes off it without being big headed or anything. Even training, you can watch me shadow box and think, "Fucking hell, he's good." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's yeah. I mean, that leads on to one of my other points. I was watching some interviews backstage at Cage Warriors, and you had the likes of Luke Riley, Shamrock, giving you props and saying you're one of the best in the training room. So that hearing from guys like that must give you confidence as well when you're going in there.
yeah, 1,000,000%, because they're the same. You know what I mean? I'd put their names down as some of the best people in the gym. Um, but they're doing it in there as well, and that's what I need to do. Now I need to get active and start doing big performances in the cage like they are, and
Yeah.
show everyone else. You know what I mean? I'm not here to be the best fighter in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get no reward for that, if any, and it just takes away from you because you're fucking battering each other in the gym at all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great compliments, as you said. I appreciate it. But my job's to get in there and show the world what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just touching on the gym, obviously it's probably I'd argue it's definitely the best gym in the UK, probably wider Europe as well. And I'm sure you guys get a lot of international talent coming into the gym. Does that bring any sort of additional pressure to you when you go out there, representing the gym and people saying, oh, it's the guy from Next Gen, etc. Or does that just you take that in your stride and you deal with that anyway?
But it's not added pressure, because pressure is just what you make up in your head and what you put on yourself. But it's, if anything, it's a aid and it's a help, because you've had the hard rounds. You know what I mean? You've had rounds where you think, fucking hell, it's not gonna get any worse than this, or you've had rounds where you think, hang on, I'm doing well here against all these top fighters who are fighting in the best organisations in the world, and it gives you confidence. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say it adds pressure. I'd say it spurs you on, gives you confidence, and there's a little bit of pressure because you want to impress them, but none of that really matters. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who you impress or whatever. The main thing is getting in there and doing what you're meant to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And timing wise as well, it's very interesting. I think the week after your fight, the flyweight title's on the line. I'm assuming you're going to be keeping your eyes close to that fight now.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think there's no clear contender to be next in line for the title. So I'm going to go in there, do a big statement, and cement myself in that position. But I'm not even worried about the fight the week after. I'm fully focused on what I've got coming. I'm going to give everything for that. Everything I've got, go in there, get the job done, and then we can start looking at that. But yeah, it's the week later, and I will be watching the fight. And get myself in line for the next one.
So does that sort of change how you approach the fight? You know, are you going out there? And I'm sure every time you go out there, you search to try and finish the fight. But given that you're probably on the periphery of that title shot potentially, does that sort of change your game plan going into the fight, or is it just win first and worry about everything else afterwards?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm always there. I throw my shots with intentions of hurting people. Know what I mean? I'm going in there to do a job. I don't load up. I do everything correct. Know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm gonna go in there with him, and he's got a similar style where he's gonna come and have a go. Know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna come to try and finish him, and if he toughs it out and he gets through, it's gonna be a great fight to watch because he's a game fighter. He's gonna come and try and get me. Know what I mean? So yeah.
And who are you picking in the week after yours, the title fight? Who are you leaning towards to take that part?
Probably that LeBlond, but it's quite an even match. So I'm not too sure, to be honest. But I'd give him a slight edge.
Yeah,
slight edge. I think his striker might be a little bit better. But yeah, it's a close fight. It could go either way, really.
Yeah. And you and your dad seem to have a very close bond, and I know you used to, and I'm not sure whether you still do, sort of hit pads and stuff with your old man. How important is that sort of relationship to your career?
Yeah, that's massive. I've trained since I was a baby. You know what I mean? I've been training since like 3-4 years old. Doing karate, boxing. I've always been around the gym. You know what I mean? My dad's like a proper old school scouser. You know what I mean? He's fucking been in and out of gyms all life. You know? He's trained like a pro athlete and never done nothing. You know what I mean? Way after doors. So it's he still doesn't know he's fucked. He can't even walk properly, but he'll go in and fucking he'll get his hands done on the bag. You know what I mean? He's still a beast. So yeah, I still train with him. I do the pads with him on a Sunday. I do all my pad work as well in the gym. But yeah, he gets me in there and puts me through my paces. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Excellent. And it must be nice fighting relatively close to home as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it's good because I got a few people down on that. But the main thing is that I'm fighting. It doesn't really matter where it is. It's a bonus that it's close.
What's Conor Wilson like outside of the cage? What does Conor Wilson do to relax?
I don't really get a minute to relax, to be honest. I'm a dad of two, so
yeah, I was going to say
running around the house. Know what I mean? Keeping me busy. Yeah, I'm just happy to help out teaching, like some of the kids and that in the gym. And yeah, look after my own kids and spend time with my family. That's the main thing. I like my oldies, so I like to go away after my fights and that. Have a nice little few weeks in the sun. Yeah.
Have you got anything planned for after this fight?
I'll go away in April. Going to Turkey for a week, so that should be sound like.
Very nice, very nice. And what about your kids? Have you got them involved in martial arts? Do they train?
My little lad does, yeah, but he's more into his footy, to be honest. He's done it since he was a baby. He's sharp, like he can throw spinning back kicks and all that, know what I mean? Yeah. But he prefers his footy. To be honest, so you'll earn more money doing that if he's any good anyway. So
it's a lot less dangerous.
And then my little girl, she's only 2, but she's like a little Molly meatball. She runs around and batter everyone.
good, good stuff. Yeah.